Hey, what's up, YouTube? How are you tonight? I am Tony Jacobson, and this is a video that I did this topic over on a Facebook Live that I did over in one of my groups on Facebook. And basically, what I'd like to do is I take that topic, and it depends on how it goes for the night, right? But if it ends up being really good, then what I'll do is I'll jump on over into YouTube here, and I'll do a live broadcast. So that's what I'm doing. So excuse me for a second, just while I'm making sure that the feed is good. Yeah! So the feed is good. Alright, sweet. So, this is what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it seems like it's a little loud. Alright? Now, second of all, I want to tell you and I want to talk to you about what tonight's topic is going to be. Alright, first of all, I am Tony Jacobson. I am the author of Disable Your Disability. I'm also a certified personal trainer. And really, at the heart of it, I'm a dude with a disability who learned how to embrace it, to start living a healthy, high-powered, happy life, and now it's my mission to help you do the same. So that's what this YouTube channel is all about. It's all about making videos that are about my disability, which is Osteogenesis Imperfecta, but it's also about helping anybody who has a disability, a physical disability, anything that's holding you back. If you have limited mobility, if you're coming off an injury, anything like that, if you're feeling stuck and you feel you can't live a healthy lifestyle, you're in the right place. Let's just put it that way. So make sure you subscribe. All right? If you are a returning subscriber, thanks so much for sticking with me. And let's get into it. Tonight's topic is the number one thing that's stopping you from living a healthy lifestyle. And it really is just one thing. A lot is involved with it, but it really is just one thing. So can you guess what it is? Go ahead, I'll wait. Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess? All right, you're not going to guess. I'm going to tell you. It is making excuses. That's right. Making excuses is the number one reason why we don't live a healthy lifestyle. It's the number one thing that keeps us from living a healthy lifestyle. Can you believe it? Like it's that simple? But it's not really that simple. That's the thing. And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up and stopped, because it isn't necessarily a simple thing to stop making excuses. And a lot of people don't even realize they're making excuses, right? So here's what I want to show you really quickly. Oh, not that. Hold on, that's my stream. Let me go ahead and close that, or let me minimize that. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go preview. Boom! So here's what it's all about. You can have results or you can have excuses, not both. Now, this is attributed to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if that's true, but I saw his name on a bunch of these graphics online, so I'm assuming it's Arnold's. It sounds like kind of a general statement, but if Arnold said it, he said, "I'll be back." And now he gets attributed to anybody that says, "I'll be back." You have to quote Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, I'm doing what I got to do by having his name on this one. But I really like this picture. That's why I chose this one. So you can have results or you can have excuses. That's really what it's about. You can't have both. And, a lot of people that try and strive for results when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, they end up making excuses and they don't even understand it. So they don't even understand why or what's happening, and they just end up in a cycle that is never ending, right? I'm going to talk about that cycle. So, why do we make excuses? That's the first thing I want to talk about. Why do we make excuses? And there's really two reasons why we make excuses. The first reason is because we are afraid of something. There's fear behind the reasoning of the excuse. And this is hard for people to understand. This is hard for people to grasp and really, kind of wrap their heads around, because we don't like to admit our fears and think about fear. But when we make excuses, we're literally making excuses based out of a fear. And it can be deep-rooted or it can be like a simple fear. So here's a couple examples. You know, my disability is Osteogenesis Imperfecta. That's brittle bones. And when it came time to work out and really push myself, I had a fear of hurting myself, of breaking a bone, right? So I would make the excuse of, oh, I'm not going to work out today because I'm just not going to work out. Like, I literally, it was on a surface level of, I'm just not going to work out today. But behind that was my fear of breaking a bone and getting hurt. And then even deeper, once I started kind of doing some work, I understood that. So there was the fear of being laid up. There was the fear of how my friends and family would react. There was the fear of being in a cast. There was a fear of the pain involved with breaking a bone, right? So there's a lot of underlying fears underneath the fear of just breaking a bone. So I had that fear that was behind. You make up an excuse and you say, oh, you know, I can't do that thing today or whatever. A lot of times there's a fear of commitment that we don't realize we have. That's why we make excuses for why we can't go and hang out with somebody or go to an event with somebody, you know? So there's fear behind it. There's fear of things. There's fear of, like, FOMO, fear of missing out, that may make you make an excuse for one thing because you're afraid you're going to miss out on another thing. So, again, this is one of the reasons why we make excuses. It's because of fear. It's kind of deep-rooted. The second reason we make excuses is because we just don't have a clear vision of what we want to do, and we don't have a clear path of how to get there. And this really comes down to healthy lifestyle, because, you know, a lot of us just kind of throw these big, lofty goals out there of, I just want to lose weight. I just want to get healthier, right? And those are great goals to have, but they're not clear. They're not realistic. They're not, well, not realistic. Not realistic. They are realistic, but they're not measurable. They're not necessarily attainable. There's nothing timely about them. There's this whole smarter goal system that I talk about in my book that, you know, I really get my clients to adhere to, because if you're not creating smarter goals, you're not creating a goal, you're just creating a wish, right? You're creating dreams, right? And to realize your dreams and wishes, you have to create a goal, a solid goal that you can then create a clear path to. Because if you create a solid goal of, I want to lose 20 pounds in 2 months, well, now we're playing with something different. We can actually create goals that are going to, we can create a path to that that's going to keep you, that's going to help you break through any excuse that you might have. Because now you just have a path to go down. You don't even have to think about it. You just go and do the tasks that are involved, right? So there is no excuse for not going down the path, because your path is laid out. You'll easily be able to make an excuse if you don't have a clear path and a clear vision of where you're trying to get to. So that's the second reason why excuses are made. It's because there's no clear path. So with that in mind, with the fear and with the path, right, what happens is we end up getting into this cycle, which I touched on earlier, this cycle of procrastination. So what happens is you don't have a vision, so then you make excuses, so then you start to procrastinate. And then as soon as you start procrastinating, your vision gets further away, and then you start to make more excuses, and then you procrastinate more. And then it just becomes this cycle that you can't get out of. And that's where you have to stop yourself and find where in that system you have to change. You have to get your vision clear. You have to create a path. You have to stop making excuses, and you got to get going, so that you don't end up in that procrastination realm, so that you don't go into this cycle, right? So here's 5 things. These are the 5 things I jotted down. Now, I've gone through these 5 things myself. I'm sure there may be others, but these are the 5 that I want to tell you about right now. This is how you stop making excuses. Here we go. Number 1. Hold on, I'm going to go back to this. Oops, not that one. I'm going to go back to this. Boom. Okay. Number 1 is self-realization that, and self-realization. Okay, now this is just realizing that you are making excuses. A lot of people don't even realize that they're making excuses. A lot of people are just going through life, living life, especially when it comes to, like, getting healthier, and you don't even realize that you're making excuses that you need to stop making. You're just kind of living life. And you're like, why am I not getting healthier? And you don't even realize that you're making excuses that are stopping you. So number one, you got to start realizing, where are you making excuses? Are you making excuses for why you can't eat healthier? It's too much money. It's hard to shop for. It's hard to cook. Like, these are all excuses, right? Because there's fears behind all of those. Why aren't you working out? Oh, well, I don't have time. I don't know what exercises to do. I don't feel good. Again, excuses, all backed by fears. So number one, you just have to have the realization that you're making excuses, and then you have to take responsibility for that. Okay, so that's number one. Self-realization, knowing that you're making excuses. Secondly, taking responsibility for those excuses. And then doing the work, doing the self-development work, doing the thought-provoking work that's going to get you deeper into, why am I afraid here? What are my fears? Why am I making these excuses? Why am I doing this, right? So that's the number one step. Number two is identifying the fears that you have. And this is where you're going to get deeper. So you're going to identify the fears that are behind all of your excuses, and then really start doing work towards those. Journaling, meditation, talking to people, really kind of being expressive in your life about the fears that you have, about, just dealing with all those fears is going to help you. And that's when you're going to start to break through, and you're going to start to see, oh man, I don't have to have these excuses anymore. All right, but it's going to take some work, and it's not an overnight thing. It's a process. So you have to get into the process, all right? So start looking at and identifying what those fears are that you have, so that you can start to break through those excuses and make sure that you don't have those excuses come up for yourself anymore. The number three thing is setting a realistic goal, setting a clear vision, and then creating a path for yourself, a clear path to that goal. Okay, so it starts with creating the vision, right? Creating a vision for what you want, like close your eyes, think about it, and then creating a goal, a smarter goal, something that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, a smart goal. Let's just go with that. Make it a smart goal. All right, it has to have all those elements, otherwise it's not going to work. Because then once you have all those elements, then you can create a clear path to get to that goal. And then it's really just creating a list of tasks. So especially if it's having to do with weight loss, if it's having to do with getting healthier, you can set realistic goals that are attainable and measurable and all that, so that you can then create a plan to get there. That's why whenever you go to anybody who is a coach like me, a personal trainer, there's going to be a plan. There's going to be, okay, we're going to lose 20 pounds in 2 months. This is what you're going to do. You're going to work out 3 times a week, 4 times a week. You're going to burn this many calories. You're going to do these exercises. You're going to eat this many calories in a day. You're going to stop eating these things. Like, it's a clear-cut path, clear path to get to your goal. And once you have that done, you're not going to have any excuses, right? Now, certain things may come up, but of course, all of those are going to be combated in the first couple steps, where you say, I don't have time, right? Well, what's that fear coming from? Well, that's a fear of commitment to yourself, a fear of prioritizing and making yourself a priority in your life so that you can get healthier, right? So you got to really dig into those fears, guys. You really got to dig into those fears. So you got to set a clear vision, set a goal, and then make a clear path for yourself. If you have a tough time when it comes to living healthy, contact me. Let's work together. I can set you up. I can give you that path, right? The fourth thing you want to do is you just want to start, and you want to be consistent. So just getting off the ground is 80% of the process, 90% of the process. You just got to start. A lot of people just don't start because they're just so full of excuses. So you just got to start, and then you got to be consistent. Too many people fall off a day, 2 days, 3 days into a healthy living program. And if you stay consistent, you will get rid of your excuses. Beachbody likes to say, just push play. I agree with that. I think that's a good thing. Just push play and do the workout. Because I believe in just doing some workout as opposed to no workout, right? You got to get something done. So you got to be consistent, and you just have to start. You got to start, you got to start, you got to start. That's number 4. And then number 5, that's 10. Number 5, or 5, is you have to have compassion for yourself and for the process. Now, this goes a little deeper because, a lot of people that don't have any, like, self-awareness, they may not even be aware of how tough you are on yourself. And, this comes in negative self-talk, negative thought processes that we go through where, we put ourselves down, we don't take care of ourselves first, we stop ourselves from doing a lot of things, we create excuses, and etc. So you really have to understand that you have to have compassion for yourself. You have to have that forgiveness for yourself in this process, because a lot of people will get stopped too early on in the process. Because maybe, you're consistent for 5 days and like on the 6th day you eat a crappy meal, right? And then all of a sudden you start beating yourself up and you're like, and then what that does is make you not come back the next day. And then you just make another excuse, right? Because then you have this fear of failure. Again, you have a fear of commitment to yourself and to the process, right? So all those fears come in. If you have some compassion for yourself and you say, you know what? I had one bad day. Totally fine. I ate one donut, right? Dude, it's totally fine. Just get back on the horse. Like, don't eat another one, but don't beat yourself up about it either. Like, just get back on the program immediately, right? So you have to have compassion for yourself, otherwise you won't get back on the program immediately. You're going to just beat yourself up into that point of having an excuse not to do it, and then again, procrastination, and then it just becomes a cycle again. So have compassion for yourself. Have compassion for the process. Know that it's not overnight. Know that it's going to take some time. I mean, if you're in an unhealthy state right now, it's taken time to build up into that. So it's going to take time to get out of that. And it's totally fine. All right? There is no quick fix. Just know that. There is no quick fix to this. Transforming into a healthy lifestyle that's going to be for the rest of your life, it takes some time. And that's okay, because that's the whole point. Believe me, it's not going to take as much time as it took you to get there. In 8 months, I was able to get to a point that I was healthier than I had ever been in the first 42 years of my life. So in 8 months, I was able to do that, right? And I've been able to maintain that for the last 4 years. So it's friggin' awesome. And that's only because I did a full transformation. I didn't go for a quick fix. Right? So I had compassion in the process as well. I knew that there were going to be roadblocks along the way. And that's totally fine. That's just all part of the process. So those are the 5 things to help you to stop making excuses. Self-realization. Understand that you are making excuses and take responsibility for them. Number 2, identify what your fears are behind those excuses and really do some self-help. Do some self-development. Work on it. Do what you got to do to get clear in your mind. Get your mind straight. Number 3 is get a clear vision of what you want with your healthy lifestyle. Make a plan. Create a solid goal, not a solid goal. How about that? Make a smarter goal. Make it happen, and then create a plan to get there. If you need help with that, contact me. Number 4, just start and be consistent. And number 5 is have compassion for yourself and don't beat yourself up if you have days when you slip. That's it. 5 steps. I'm sure there's others out there, but these are the 5 that have helped me, and I hope they will help you. All right. If you guys have any questions or comments, what are your thoughts? Please comment below. Like this video. Share this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because I got a lot of great videos that are already in the playlist below and already in the archives, and I always have new videos coming every single week. So with that, I'm going to say, look, get rid of the excuses. Make sure that you break through the roadblocks and those fears that are stopping you and making you create excuses for yourself, because once you do that, you will absolutely be able to live the healthy, high-powered, happy life you deserve. I'll see you next time.